Well, hello again. Just a nice easy one today. End of the season's come and everything looking, well, at an end. It's nice just to keep a few things on the go, and I'm going to give some salad leaves, lettuce, a try. See if it prolongs the season a little bit. So I thought just a short video, and you could have a look at that. Here's a tray of cabbage. Well, cabbage, I'm at it again. Lettuce, which I planted about three weeks ago, maybe 4, but probably more like 3, and just dropped the seeds on top of a tray of compost, and this is the result. Now it's getting to a stage where it needs to be managed, otherwise it'll probably just waste. So what I intend to do is put a few of these into pots and grow them a little bit on before I actually put them out, so they're a bit stronger, and well, we'll see how it goes. So I think the first thing is, let's get a few of them out. There is some beauties in here. Let's see. So I'm using a dinner fork to do it, but I'm sure you'll have your own way, but I find that this is probably the best way. Well, with the equipment that I've got. Now then, let's have a look at that. There's how many there? I think there's two lettuce, both green. Oh, hang on a minute. Well, that's the same plant, but it's got some nice red leaf on it, so it'll be a red one, I suppose, when it grows. So let's try and separate them as best I can. If there's ever a problem, with these separating stuff, what you can do is just put them into water, and you'd be amazed. Once they go into water and the soil comes off in the water, very soily water, of course, but they seem to separate. But anyway, look at that. That's not bad roots at all, is it? And the same with that. So there's 2. Let's have a look here. This looks quite a biggish one. In fact, it's better working from the end, isn't it? Let's get this one out. Oops. That was a bit rough, really, but there you go. And it's separating them, of course, is another problem. But salmon's here. Well, there's 1, or maybe 2, which I'm not going to plant. Let's have a taste. Very nice. Yeah, very nice indeed. And then there's two more. So let's separate these out. There's a 3rd and a 4th. Another to take out here. How many in there? Well, that just looks like 1. But I can't help doing it without breaking leaves off. Maybe because I'm hungry. I'm afraid the little ones, I've got plenty now, so well, we'll see what happens. nice and deep. And let's have a look in here. So there's a couple of babies. And I think I've got more than enough, so it's always sad, isn't it, when you have to sacrifice smaller plants which you know would have made it, but there's only so much space and only so much you can eat. And if you save everything, unfortunately, you'd be overrun. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. I can put all this stuff in here. So there we go, another one, and another one. See, it's worth trying to make sure you sort the leaves out before you actually separate them, because they pull on each other. Cabbage, I'm at it again, I'm to lettuce. There. Is that one, or it's about 3 or 4? See some really healthy, that's not so fantastic, but not so bad either. I'll leave all these here at the front. Let's see what happens with them. Maybe some of my neighbours might like them later on when they've run out of things growing. As I say, it's good to have something that still grows, and as far as I'm aware, lettuce will continue. I don't really know if you can, I suppose you can put it outside. I've been told it's very hardy. But there's one way for me to find out, isn't there? And this is the way to do it. So, there we go. Another one there. Separate out. Whoops. Oh, broken leaves, I'm afraid. But there you go. How many's there? That's 2. 2 of them. Now, I haven't been counting how many plants I've got here. I'm planning on doing at least 12. But if it goes to 24, it goes to 24. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Right, let's separate that one off. That's just a one and a beauty. Look at the roots on them there. They'll probably take these. So it's the second Sunday in October now, but you wouldn't believe how hot it is in this greenhouse. Yeah, look at that one. Let's have a look. Can I see? Yeah, it's 32, 33. So about, let's get in sort of late 80s in old money. I've got my jumper on in here. I feel like I'm sweltering. But I wonder if that's enough. Let's get that one out. I'll just get now any particularly big ones that are left that need to be rescued, I think. We'll actually leave some room for the smaller ones that I'm not picking to grow. There's a big one. Let's have a look here how many we've got. There's a natural break. So that's one there. That's just one. With the little babies. Look at that one. That's absolutely brilliant. In fact, that's ready to be started to be taken now. Leaves from it. And I think this is it. Now, I'll leave the rest. Maybe come back to them again later. So let's move this out of the way for now. Get some compost. So it's going to be dirty fingernail time. Anytime. Put it all in. There we go. So a quick rummage through, make sure there's no big lumps in there. And perhaps show you the way I do these things, and then you can tell me I'm doing it wrong. So let's have a look. Let's start with one pot. So I'm using a pot just that size. So I tend to fill it to the top and press it down. Hole in the middle, depending on the size of the root ball or roots that are going in there. So let's make a start with that one. Try and like twisting it a little bit. And then you get your soil firmed down. And if you need to add a little bit more, but not too much, because you come over the... If you go too high, you end up rotting the lettuce leaves. So there's one. I've got a tray, I think, here. Let's go and get a tray. So this takes 12, I think. From past experience. So let's get on. There's a little baby. There we go. Another one, 2 down. I've no idea how many how many plants I've just separated. I suspect it's a lot more than 12. But all will be revealed. Yeah, I always try and handle these things by the foliage up above, not the roots or the down there at the business end. It's I believe easy to harm them if you start picking it up on it by its roots and the like. Well, having said that, having ripped them apart the way I have, it's probably you wouldn't do any more damage than I've just done, I suppose. Let's see. That one. Oops. Having just said what I said, and then I go and handle it by the roots, so never mind. It will be what it will be. Four down. And look at that. Great hopes for that one. As I say, could actually take some of that home today. But, as I've said before, the art of this allotment life is patience, I think. It just saves these things from getting root bound by separating them at this stage. I found that if you leave them inside that tray, they will usually just grow on quite a bit, but I think they get shorter space and start getting stressed. See, not only us getting stressed, but plants get stressed. They've not got enough space, nutrients, so they do what they naturally do, I think, and they just go to seed to protect the next generation, I suppose. It's just nature's way. So at least this gives them another couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of independence, if you like. You have to watch they don't dry out, of course, but let's have a look. Okay. I know some people have a much less mucky way of doing this, but I like the hands-on thing because I don't know, maybe I'm a little clumsy, so I tend to not, if I'm wearing gloves or something like that, I can't feel what's going on, and I'm clumsy enough without gloves, so I think it's a matter of you just do what suits yourself. You can always wash your hands after. It's just if you have an office job and there you are with dirty fingernails on Monday morning, lovely. It's no good saying I have an allotment. People just wouldn't understand. They'd just think you're a bit of a dirty whatever. Right, I'm kind of running out of soil here, aren't I? How many have I done? I've obviously got 2 there. And of course, when you get to this time of year, I think it's, rather than the temperature, it's the, I think it's the length of day that actually governs the growing. I'm no scientist, so I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty certain that it's not the cold. Obviously, frost has a big effect, but just getting rid of some of the smaller ones. Now, I know what I can hear in the background. That's a delivery of horse manure. We're so lucky on this allotment that there's obviously a chat with horses, stables. He has a load of horse manure he needs to get rid of, and we grow in fraternity. The more the better, of course. So it's kind of symbiosis. We help him out, he helps us out. He doesn't have to pay to get it taken away, but it does mean he's going to come round in his tractor. And there's never enough. I mean, we'll get a couple of ton maybe delivered, and it's gone in days. Just days. Not weeks. I think it tends to come on a Sunday, and it'll be gone by Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, are you, where you are, do you have access to manure and the like? Because I have to say, it makes such a difference to your growing, and it probably saves an absolute mint in money, because you're putting all that nutrition back into the soil. And you've got it for nothing, which is the important thing. Right, okay. So it's 11 down. I might just be able to squeeze one more out of this bit of soil that's left. And then it's, do I open another? Well, I suppose so. I must still have another, getting on for 10 or so there. 10, 12. But I'm not going to put you through watching me do another 12. In fact, I might decide to cut this, so you might never hear my words of, I'm going to say wisdom, but they're my prattling on. Anyway, so, back later. When I find the button to switch. So, that's it. I ended up doing not 12, 24, but 36. 36 plants. And for me, with new seedlings, because you've messed about with them for so much and for so long, this is how I tend to water them. It gives them a proper soaking this way. It does take a few minutes, but you know, It's not the end of the world, is it? And what I've said all the time, name of this game is patience. While I'm looking, or while I'm here, the cabbages. So, yeah. Why is everything called a cabbage these days? The carrots looking fine. That's just an aside. See, it's starting to fill up. And you know they've had a good watering. But what you do need to do is, with one hand, make sure you don't drop your camera in the in the water. Oops. Let's see. There's obviously one in a smaller pot there, which goes under before the rest are quite full. But anyway, never mind. Let's move them on. They look a bit sorry for themselves at the minute, but I'm sure once the water gets to them, they'll start to pick up. There's another one. Do you know, I was using a second set of compost, and it was it was a multi-purpose compost with added John Innes. I've thrown about a quarter of it away. It was totally, well, I had a load of uncomposted bits. Look like wood or things. And then the other thing is, I mean, okay, it has been open for a few weeks, but it's been sealed. And there was a worm in there. So I don't know how that's got in. I mean, it's living in one of my beds now. I thought it's had a lucky escape. I should at least look after it. Anyway, that's how I would water. Now I've got the problem of turning off my camera without dropping it in there and only having one hand. So that's the planted article. They look a bit sorry for themselves, don't they, at the minute? But I suppose so would we if we'd just been dragged away and up and shoved in somewhere else. Right, we'll keep an eye on them, see how they come along. Oh dear. The basil, what am I going to do with this stuff? It's already too big for its pot. Now, so I've got all of them. There's another load over here. Oh dear. I really hope they don't end up on the compost, but that's the problem. That's where I suspect they'll end up anyway. You never know. Someone might come to the rescue and say, oh, I love basil, I'll have a few of them. Fingers crossed. So, you won't believe what I've just done. Although I will. I've kept all my potatoes here in the tubs, basically, rather than bring them home and keep them in a dark place, purely and simply because I've found if you leave them in the ground, provided blight doesn't come along, you get pretty good results and they keep a lot longer. Even than keeping them in a dark and cool place at home, it's not the point. So I've just emptied out that one, which leaves us 3 more, and brought them in the wheelbarrow down to here, and that's it. They're either Duke of York or they're Desiree. To be honest, I've lost track. I wrote it on there, but it's weathered. And unfortunately, I can't read it anymore, so I don't really know which. But I've just done that whole exercise on camera, and because it's bright and I can't see the screen, what I hadn't realised is I've got the shutter closed. So we've probably got a good commentary, but absolutely no pictures. So let's just make the most of it. So I'm using my compost for, I think some people call it a conditioner, don't they? So it's going to be put on this, what is at the moment the lettuce plot, but the lettuce has all gone to seed, unfortunately. So I'll put it all on there, and then potatoes can come home. But I'm really pleased with that. I haven't got any scales, so I'm not getting involved in that. Let's weigh it, see how many pounds we've got. I don't think it's a massive amount, but for me it's good enough. It's at least good enough. So it's a few meals there. So onwards and upwards.